one has fallen into this world of sense gratification and is suffering the threefold miseries.
So sabi ni Kunti, ang lahat daw ng mga tao ay na dito sa mundo kasi gawa sa mga misery.
Due to forgetfulness of Krishna, which has given them complete ignorance, which has made them desire sense gratification, and sin, which has made them sinful, which has made them suffer.
So tulad din no, na nakalimutan natin si Krishna at tayo inisip natin yung pansarili nating kasiyahan, di ba? Kaya nakagawa tayo ng iba-ibang mga kasalanan.
Scientists and governments are spending millions of dollars to find out what's the cause of suffering and what's the cause of this world. But Queen Kunti summed it up in 2 lines.
So katulad daw dito sa mundo, yung mga scientists at yung mga government natin, sila gumagastos ng madaming libo-libong mga pera para maunawaan kung anong kadahilanan ng pagsasuffer natin dito. Pero si Queen Kunti, sinabi niya lang ito ang kadahilanan sa 2 linya.
It's also nicely summarized in Jaiva Dharma by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, which we're bringing on the trip.
So ito rin ay nababasa natin sa Jaiva Dharma kasi ito ay tineksi ni... Is that? The one who summarized it?
Jaiva Dharma is summarized by Bhaktivinoda Thakur.
By Bhaktivinoda. Siya yung nag-summarize.
You will all find great enlightenment in reading that book on this trip, and you can take it home with you too.
So kung gusto niyo daw, basahin yung Jaiva Dharma, so magkakameron tayo ng pagkaunawa. At kung gusto niyo, pwede rin kayong magkameron ng kopya.
There, the Guru says that because all the living entities in this world are the ones who turned away from Krishna, therefore, in order to get gradually purified over many, many millions of lives, it's like a blacksmith that is hammering, or a goldsmith rather, that is hammering a big piece of rock that has gold inside, but you have to hammer, and then the gold comes out. So the material nature is like that goldsmith.
So sabi ng guru doon sa Jaiva Dharma, na dito daw, katulad na yung gumagawa ng mga alahas, so yung ginto daw nasa loob ng malaking bato. So bago niya makuha yung ginto doon sa loob ng malaking bato, kailangan niya pukpukin yung bato bago niya makuha yung gold.
And the gold is our pure spiritual consciousness.
So yung gold daw ay ito yung nagre-representa ng ating spiritual na kalagayan.
Then you might say, well, but why does he have to be so mean? Couldn't he do it in another way?
So wala bang ibang kapangaraanan kundi ganun ba talaga yung kapangaraanan para makita natin yung sarili natin?
Actually, the living entities are not suffering at all. It's all illusion.
Kasi tayo talaga, hindi naman tayo naghihirap dito kasi ito ay ating illusion lang, katalang natin sa isipan.
In our Prabhupada's translation of the Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, he says that there may be a student in class and he's very, very naughty. So he likes to slingshot the other kids and just create havoc, hurting everybody. So the teacher says, you remember all this? Huh? What? Just okay, stop there.
So sa Srimad Bhagavatam na translate o piniliwanag ni Srila Prabhupada na may isang estudyante na gusto niyang tiradurin or saktan yung mga kalaro niya. So siya ay pinipigilan ng kanyang guru, teacher.
So the teacher says, if you don't behave yourself, I'm going to hang your head on the wall, I'm going to cut your head off, hang it on the wall, and you'll be able to see it there.
So pag di ka sabi ng teacher o ng guru sa kanyang estudyante, pag di ka nagpakabait, puputulin ko yung ulo mo at ilalagay ko sa pader.
So the naughty student thinks, oh God, I'll be able to see my head on the wall. And then he stops his naughtiness.
So napaisip yung bata na sabi niya, oh Diyos, yung ulo ko, makita ko na nakasabit sa pader. So siya ay tumigil.
But the interesting thing is that if he's seeing his head on the wall He must have another head to
Yes.
see it with.
So kung makikita daw niya, sabi niya, kung makikita ko yun, aking ulo doon sa taas, so dapat may isa pa ako ulit na ulo sa mata.
So I'm saying, now I'm being born. Now I'm being thrown in the ocean by the cyclone. Now I'm getting old. Now I'm dying. But it's all a dream
So lahat ng mga bagay na
given
isip niya.
for this hammering.
So lahat ng bagay na isip niya, siya mamatay, siya tatanda, at kanyang napagtanto.
And through their changing of lives, being born again and again, sometimes they have an opportunity to get what's called sukriti, or spiritual pious credits.
So sa kabila na tayo ay maraming beses na nabuhay, nagkameron ng iba-ibang mga katawan, tayo ay nagkakameron ng sukriti na tinatawag, na tayo ay nagkakameron ng pagkakataon na mapalapit sa spiritual life.
And then when that adds up to enough, life after life after life, then they get to meet a bona fide guru and take shelter and go back to Godhead.
So hanggang magkameron tayo ng tamang sukriti, hanggang maabot natin yung hangganan na tayo ay makakilala ng guru o yung bona fide na.
Otherwise, sometimes they're performing pious activities like giving mundane charity or worshiping the demigods. And sometimes they're doing sinful activities. So they're going up to higher species and down and up and all over the place for millions of births.
So minsan naman gumagawa tayo ng mabubuting bagay, di ba? So tayo ay nagkakameron ng resulta nun, at yung iba naman gumagawa ng masamang bagay, so may resulta rin sa iba-ibang planeta at papunta pa sa mas pababa.
I was once on a morning walk with Prabhupada and a lot of devotees in New York City in the 1970s.
So noong 1970, si Syamarani didi ay kasama niya sila Prabhupada sa morning walks.
Everybody knows Prabhupada?
Yes.
In this group? So he pointed to the building as we were walking. And you know, sometimes on a building there were like vines growing, or just like some thin creeper with leaves. And then he pointed at the sidewalk. And you know how sometimes when there's a sidewalk and then there's squares of cement, and then a drop of earth, and then another square? So there were some little plants growing in between the cement. So he said, where did those little plants and creepers come from?
So minsan daw na sila ay naglalakad, nakita nila sa mga building, mayroong mga gumagapang na bagin. Tapos sa baba rin meron din, di ba? Sa mga singit-singit ng pader. Ba't tumutubo pero wala namang lupa doon?
So nobody knew. We all didn't know, obviously. So Prabhupada said, he quoted Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, that when one performs pious activities, worshipping the demigods, and then simultaneously he has to be performing sins, because even if he steps on a cockroach without knowing, he still has to suffer for that. So somebody went to the heavenly planets, and they were enjoying as demigods. And then after their pious activities were used up, then they came and became little plants.
So, minsan daw nakita natin katulad ng bagin o yung nagumagapang sa mataas, kaladasan din tayo na napunta tayo sa heavenly planet o sa iba-ibang mga planeta at nag-enjoy tayo. Tapos minsan kung ano iba-ibang mga bagay na nagagawa natin, katulad ng pagtapak sa mga ipis, yun ay may resulta rin. So ang resulta nun yung pinakamababa, nagiging experience tayo ng degraded na buhay.
Or suppose somebody is in a boat and he's fishing and he's having a problem. So he prays to God, "Oh God, please let me catch some fish." And what happens? He becomes a fish in his next life.
So meron naman mga isda na nangingisda sila, nagdarasal pala sa Diyos na Panginoon, bigyan mo ako ng isda. At sa susunod na buwan nila, naging isda rin sila.
Even